All right. What the hell is happening, guys? This is Tara Devlin. Welcome to Tarabuster Tuesdays. We meet here every Tuesday on the Political Voices Network. Make sure you like and subscribe and all that stuff. I want to thank Charlie from APS Radio News for all you do to keep the show going and growing. And before, I can keep going on and on about what Charlie does for the show. So check out APS Radio News. And he has a classic rock station, APS Radio, and a classical station. So just put that on and keep that on all day. It's something that I do. I like to support the people who support the show. So APS Radio and APS Radio News. Okay, very special show today. I'm just checking, making sure everything is running smoothly. You know how it is. This is the liberal media. We don't have big billionaire benefactors. We only have each other. Okay, I'm just looking. I don't see. Oh, there we go. Okay. The Political Voices Network. It didn't look like it was connected. That's why I always have to check. Okay, guys. Listen, we got a great, amazing guest, and I really want to jump into it. But before we bring him in, let's play the intro to his social contract. 1 second. Here we go.
The divisiveness right now in this country is at a level it hasn't been at in over 100 years. And I know that because I know I helped bring us here.
You want to save America? From this point forward, you got to become Christian soldiers.
Hell, I went to Washington 13 years ago to go to war. And the angrier I got my audience, the more likely they came back to listen to me. It went way beyond issues. It got personal.
You sent out a tweet, watch out Obama, watch out Black Lives Matter punks. Real America is coming after you.
I have to spend the rest of my public life, political life, the rest of my breathing life, trying to help bring this country back together.
The one good thing Donald Trump has done for me is he's taught me how absolutely ugly personal political hate is, because I engaged in that way too much when I was in Congress.
So I think step one is I got to get out there and find out what's bothering the people.
If Biden won the election fairly, that's fantastic, but no one could give us a solid answer.
With each passing year, I just get more and more afraid.
Talk to the experts.
And polarization is an existential threat to the United States because it starts pitting people that normally have agreed with each other on hard issues.
Yeah.
They start looking at each other as the enemy.
Talk with the American people. If I asked your mom today what the word democracy means, what would she say?
I think she'd say voting. I think she'd say voting in elections. I think she'd say participating in picking the people that represent you.
We take that word for granted, democracy. Everything that happens in this country comes from us.
But we are a government of the people.
Man, that's a uniquely American thing that we're losing right now.
Have we hit the inflection point where we're lost as a democracy? I don't think we're quite there yet, but we're on that pathway.
We've always had this silent pact, this pledge with each other as citizens in this free country that we had a job. We had responsibilities. I'm heading out and I'm going to head across this country, and we're going to build a movement of Americans who want to renew their social contract with each other, who want to renew these basic responsibilities with each other.
There's got to be one issue we agree on. Probably not.
I think someone who's been in the fight, who's been a political asshole, is in a position to help bring a lot of people together. And that's what I'm determined to do.
We all got to learn to listen to each other and try to understand each other, even if we disagree. Thank you for saying something, no matter where we are on the political spectrum. Thank you.
I'm former Congressman Joe Walsh. Join me, follow me here. The social contract, it's on us.
Wow. Joe, thank you for for all your work. Thank you for coming on the show. That's why I want to play that video. It's a better intro than I can do for you. So I love the name of your show, The Social Contract, because I really think that I believe in everything you're saying, but you have such a fascinating journey that you've been through, right? Teabag, not teabag.
Say it, Tara. That's okay.
Well, I mean, I'm used to calling you teabaggers, so yeah, the pejorative. But from Tea Party firebrand, let's say, to what? I mean, you're a Democrat now. You're a registered Democrat.
Oh my God.
How'd that happen?
Oh my God, Tara. I became a Democrat 9 months ago. Who'd have ever thought that?
Right.
First off, great to be with you. Second off, thank you for playing that intro, because I have not seen that in a couple years.
Oh,
and
wow.
it reminded me of, and it's always healthy to be reminded of this, what a political divisive asshole I was back in my day. And that's always good to see. It is. Look, Tara, I don't know anybody who's been on the same journey than I have. And I've racked my brain now for a few years. I was Tea Party bad boy. I was in MAGA. I left MAGA. Then I became an outspoken never Trumper. Then I decided to run against Trump in the 2020 primary. Then I campaigned my ass off for Joe Biden in 20, campaigned my ass off for Kamala in 24. And then fuck it, I became a Democrat last year. Crazy journey.
Right. That is how. This is why I don't understand. I want to understand, because you seem like such a decent, honest person, right? And I remember you back. I mean, I didn't know you, of course, but I remember your tweets. Let's get your muskets and things like that, and you were pretty bad. So how? I don't understand how you square that. I want to know, because there's hope, and that means there's hope for other people too, right? To reach them.
There is. Look, I got out of the MAGA cult, and so every week I still engage with MAGA people by the hundreds every day, and every week I'm able to pull a couple out of the cult. Look, unlike what these MAGA people are now, and a lot of it's performative bullshit.
Right.
I just passionately believed in what I believed in. And plenty of times then I went over my skis and got personal because of what I believed in. Right. But it was always the stuff I believed in. I was a talk radio guy, syndicated radio. I was like the antithesis of Rush Limbaugh. Rush Limbaugh was just a fucking entertainer. And a lot of people on the right were that way. And they were just trying to piss people off. But I would do the same thing, but it wasn't entertainment to me. I would just get worked up about the stuff I believed in. And then eventually, Tara, I hit a point where I realized I was part of the problem. And I was helping to divide this country. And slowly that will.
How did that happen, though? How did you realize that? Trump, yeah. I think that's,
you know what, Tara? It was when he first got elected. And even though, and you brought up the musket tweet, still my favorite tweet. I was never I didn't know Trump. I supported Trump because my voters and audience supported him. I supported Trump because, and I still believe this, I'm an anti-establishment guy. I'm a populist. I believe our political system's fucked up. We need disruption. Trump, and I didn't know enough about Trump. Trump said he was going to be a disruptor. Turns out he's an evil disruptor, period. Yeah. And so after he got elected that first time, I'm on the radio around the country. I'm on Fox News every day. And then I have to pay attention to him. And Tara, I swear to God, every day I paid attention to him as president. I said, whoa, this is bad, wrong, evil, horrible, cruel. And so I then had to look inside myself and I had to ask myself, oh my God, do I sound like that? Did I sound like that? And I have, Tara, I'm going to go to my grave still living with the fact that me and people like me helped get him elected that first time.
Right.
I mean, that sucks, but I got to live with that.
But you're doing more than most to make up for it. That's for sure. And just being honest about your journey. And I'm sure you know other Republicans that are still in the cult. That's why I
Yes.
have to always wonder, are they... I know there are some true believers, of course, but especially, well, in the halls of Congress, I wonder, they must know better because they know this guy. They know what he is. They see the unclassified, unredacted materials. They see him for what he is. I don't understand how, that they enable him.
It's a great question. So when I came out against Trump 7.5 years ago, that's wild. It feels like 100 years ago. But when I came out against Trump 7.5 years ago, damn near every one of my former Republican colleagues in the House privately called me and said, Joe, I agree with what you're saying, but I can't say that publicly. Most of my right-wing media people said the same thing to me privately. One scary thing, Tara, is that's changed. Now there are more true believer MAGA crazies in the House and the Senate, and there are now more true believing MAGA crazies in right-wing media. There are still plenty who privately say, oh my God, he's horrible.
Right.
But there are more true believers. But Tara, look, I'm the proof. Like everybody always asks me, why, Joe, why don't other Republicans do what you do? And blah, blah, blah. And the answer is, my answer always is, well, look at what the fuck happened to me. I came out against Trump. I lost my syndicated radio show. Fox News said, see ya. I took a blowtorch to my career.
Yeah.
I could never, I ended my life as a Republican. I've put up with death threats on a weekly basis for 7 years. So when that's what happens in this time, when you are someone like me and you come out against Trump, who wants that to happen to them?
Yeah. But then, at least you could sleep at night and look yourself in the mirror. That's what I always wonder. How could you? I mean, I could never, I don't know. I mean, everybody's different, but
no, Tara, don't lose that. Don't lose that feeling, because I look, as cynical as I've become, and I've been in the game for a long time, I still ask the same thing. I'll talk to one of them privately and I'll say, how the fuck can you sleep with yourself?
Right.
But again, they have a pretty good answer. Joe, you're no longer a member of Congress. You can never be one again. You will never go on Fox News again. You make no money now. And so they'll throw that back at me as kind of like, yeah, I had to make a choice. And I have a family, I have kids to feed, and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. But I mean, history is not going to look kindly on these people. That's for sure. There's no doubt in my mind that this is going to end badly. It always will. Right. Every authoritarian wannabe dictator ends badly, and the people who enable them end even worse. So. And
the other thing, Tara, is that's right. They don't think that far ahead. But the other thing is, a lot of them, I'm looking at you, Mike Johnson, Speaker of the House. A lot of them claim to be religious men and women and Christians. They seriously pray their asses off every day for forgiveness. I know that for a fact.
Wow. Huh.
And that's weird and bizarre.
Yeah.
But they do that. Mike Pence, who I served with and we were good friends, he made a deal with the devil when he decided to be Trump's vice president because he wanted to be president. And I know Mike Pence has prayed to his God every day for forgiveness for the deal he made. Right. It's crazy stuff.
Yeah, but at least, I mean, Mike Pence will be looked upon kindly in history's light, even though, he did enable him, and shame on him for doing it. Shame on them all. That's why it's like, when I was a kid, my father was a World War II buff, and we bonded over that, watching documentaries, sharing books and things like that. And I always had a sense of distance from it, thinking, and it would give me the perspective, wow, I'm very grateful to be an American, that I don't have to have this happen in my country. And now it's really hitting too close to home. And yeah, we're in an authoritarian coup. It's happening. And I know you talk about it on your show. You are sounding the alarm that Trump is going to try to steal the midterms, the upcoming elections. Exactly. So, as someone who was a former Republican in the elected halls of power, will the Republicans go along with it? I know there are true believers. Last time we had some, ethical Republicans who wouldn't go cross that line. But what are your concerns about this time?
Well, it's important, Tara, to make the one point. The caveat I'll make is my former colleagues have never been afraid of Trump. They've been afraid of Trump's hold on the base voters in the party.
Yes.
Trump owns the Republican Party base. If Republican voters left him tomorrow, every member of the House and the Senate Republican would say, see ya as well. They've always feared his hold on the base. As long as he has that, they do what Trump wants. Wow. I know for a fact that, as so many do, that he has an intricate plan that he began to implement last year to fuck with, mess with, and try to cancel the midterms.
Shit.
He will get very little pushback from Republicans on that. I mean, again, my God, I know you and I are, I'm not going to say we're naive, but we're talking about a guy who committed crimes trying to overthrow a presidential election.
Yeah.
And the party kept him as their leader and renominated him. Ugh. And the country put him back in power.
Right.
So Trump knows if we have free and fair elections this year, it's going to be a blue tsunami like we ain't never seen. He's going to do everything he can to stop that. My other big fear, Tara, is Republicans are going to lose the House. Done. Democrats, my new party, who I got real problems with, and they got to get their fucking act together.
Yes.
They don't have to do a thing, though, to take back the House this year. It'll all be because of Trump. My fear is Democrats win back the House, but Trump and Mike Johnson do not relinquish control.
Right.
And they fuck with things after the election.
Because they'll claim fraud, and they're setting that up already.
Yeah.
They'll claim, when as he said last time, you don't concede when there's theft. That's what he said when Biden, beat him. And there was no theft. And that's what we're witnessing now. That's why Tulsi Gabbard grabbed the, ballots and all that. The whole thing is really, it's a coup in plain sight. But I wonder, as you're saying, you're concerned about the Democratic Party. You think, are they up to the job?
No! my God, Tara, no!
I know.
My biggest fucking beef with my new party is they're just not meeting the moment.
No.
Chuck Schumer, get out of here.
I know.
And maybe you like Hakeem Jeffries. He ain't made for this moment.
No, he's another one.
The party and the establishment, like I've been calling Donald Trump a fascist since 24 when I was out campaigning for Kamala. Democrats are afraid to do that.
Yes.
And all the Democratic consultants say, oh, Joe, we should just talk about the price of beef.
Yeah.
Excuse me? Yeah, and by the way, we can do both. We can talk about this guy's going to try to steal the fucking election. Everything he's done is unconstitutional, and beef costs too much. I get it.
Yeah.
We can do both. But Democrats are afraid to speak like I'm speaking right
exactly.
now. It kills me.
Exactly. And it looks, when you hear, I see Chuck Schumer trying to make some changes, now he's cursing in his social media posts, and he's like, no fucking way, right? And it doesn't seem like him. Just be yourself. But I don't even know, does he know who that is at this point?
No.
Really? So
No, There's a part of him, Tara, that still believes it's 1994 and he's dealing with Senator Bob Dole and the
That's
old
right.
Republican Party. And
Yeah.
I have a lot of faults and I've done a lot of bad things, but I've always been honest and authentic. You ask me a question, I'm going to say what I think, and no consultant or advisor
Right.
could ever tell me what
That's
to say.
it.
Way too many Democrats, Tara, and I knew this when I was a Republican. Republicans know this. They're so overly consulted and
Yes.
they listen to their advisors and they come across always talking like politicians and almost afraid to offend anybody. Fuck it. Say what you
Exactly.
think and offend people.
That's it. You have to. That's why Bernie Sanders has so much support.
Yes.
Because he's authentic. He says what he thinks, and you can respect
Tara, if
somebody.
he were 15, 20 years younger,
Oh, I
he'd be the nominee in 28 and he'd win. He would have beaten Trump in 16.
He would have. I agree too. I was a Bernie-crat back then, and because that was a change election, and
Yes.
Hillary Clinton was, even though she did receive more votes, but still, that's the problem with the Democratic Party, to have this disgusting tax cheating, draft dodging, wannabe dictator con man, and you can't beat that. You can't trounce that. That should have been a no-brainer, But the irony is that he came across as the truth teller.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and he's a filthy liar. So
He's brilliant at faking authenticity. He lies as he breathes. But to his credit, and this goes back to 16, we've been living in a populist moment now for a while. What does that mean? That just means average Americans are pissed off at elites and both political parties.
Yep.
Trump recognized that and he tapped into it.
Yes.
Now he's a demagogue and he's evil and he lies and he spreads fear, all of that. Democrats have never understood this moment we're in. Bernie did, and the party wouldn't let him get nominated in 16. I don't agree with Zoran Mamdani on a lot, but he recognizes this populist moment, and that carried him to a victory.
it's true. I live in New York. He's and he even got Trump voters to. That says a lot, because people want authenticity. They
Bingo.
want people who are fighting for them, and that's what I've been saying that on my show for years. That people just want to fight. It's not about bipartisanship. It's about having the courage of your convictions and sticking to those convictions. But if you don't have any convictions, if you're just sticking your finger in the air and saying, okay, which way the wind blows, this is like Hillary Clinton, for example, when she called them the basket of deplorables. They're still whining about that. She was not wrong, and she said she gave the qualifier. We're talking about the homophobes, the Islamophobes, the racists, the bigots. She wasn't saying you're all a bunch of deplorables. She should never have apologized. This is what I mean. And then now, they
shouldn't have backed down.
No, just you're right. And the fact that the Democratic Party, there's so many, and I'm glad you're in the Democratic Party now, because this is.
I don't know for how long, Tara.
It's right. It's a long-suffering member of the Democratic Party. It's really frustrating. It is.
Well, and you're right. Because, look, if you believe like I do, and I assume you do, that the very thing our founders feared is in the White House right now.
Yep.
My God, if you believe that, if I were a current Democratic member of Congress for the past year, I'd be fucking screaming every day. So either the party of the establishment doesn't recognize the threat my former party is, or they do and they're afraid to say it. Now, look, Democratic voters and grassroots resistance, no kings voters hate both parties, but they really hate what Trump is. And so they're going to give Democrats the House this year. The establishment, the party leadership is going to be carried to victory because of how pissed off voters are.
Right. But the fact that the average red state voter doesn't know that, the economy, for example, does better under Democrats. This is a demonstrable fact. We have the math, we have, reality backing it up. And even during the last campaign, when everyone, they would do these polls on the corporate media saying how the American people think that Republicans, that Trump is better for the economy, even though he left us with the worst jobs records in Herbert Hoover. Of course, they blame the pandemic, but the same pandemic that gave us the high inflation rates that they hung over Joe Biden's neck, even though the inflation was coming down faster in the United States than every other Western democracy that was dealing with the same problems. And it's just, there just seems to be different rules. And the Democrats don't stick up for themselves. I always say when you talk about the red states, you have to add the qualifier, poorly run red state. Poorly run, because they're poorly run. All they do is pass bathroom bills. Okay, great. A trans person can't go to the bathroom. They have to hold it until they get home. Well, you have shorter life expectancies in the red states. The gap between rich and poor. I mean, all of the positive measures, they're great at all the negative measures. Pollution, infant mortality. We can go on. But not,
I think, Tara, you're so right. And look, again, the old Joe Walsh used to practice some of this. The right lives for culture wars.
Right.
I mean, they live for. And as someone who comes from the right, who engaged in a lot of that, we always knew Democrats wouldn't fight us on it. So, because Democrats are wussies. Like, we always laughed about that. When I would meet with Republicans privately, we would laugh because we knew that Democrats would never go to the mat to fight to the political death. Yeah. And so we could throw out this transgender issue or that gun issue or that Black Lives Matter issue. And we knew Democrats would be afraid to fight back. I mean, and Tara, look at the 24 campaign. I adored Kamala, and I thought I blame Biden. Biden fucked up.
Yeah.
I think Kamala did really well with the hand she was given. But Trump spends $230 some million in Pennsylvania on a transgender ad.
Right.
And Team Harris decided, let's just ignore it.
Right.
And they didn't fight back.
Yeah.
And I believe, as a reformed MAGA gang member, that most Americans are where the Democrats are on every single one of these culture war issues. The Democrats just don't fight on them.
That's right. And there's a way to fight on it, and without abandoning the less than 1% of the population who's in their crosshairs. And you present it as a matter of freedom, of personal freedom, and and e pluribus unum, and you call it out. This is a demagogic
Tara, look at
tactic.
this. Like, you're a good, decent progressive, right?
I hope so. Yeah.
Good.
I think so.
I'm still now I'm a conservative Democrat. But look at the transgender issue. I bet you and I agree. Like, where are most Americans? We love and embrace all God's children,
right.
Gay, straight, or transgender. Live your truth. Live the life you want to live. Stay out of my life. When it comes to transgender women in sports, let's just make sure we've got a fair, level playing field. When it comes to transgender men and women in high school bathrooms and locker rooms, let's figure out ways to respect everybody's privacy. But doggone it, there should be no discrimination against transgender Americans, and we should love and embrace who they are. What's my former party's position on transgender Americans? It's a mental illness, and it should be outlawed. And maybe you disagree with my take, but I bet you and I wouldn't be that far apart on that issue.
As far as it's a mental illness, what do you mean?
No, that's the
that's what they think. Yeah.
As far as love and embrace, do not discriminate. Gay,
alone.
Straight, transgender, is anybody can serve in the military if they meet the criteria.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think it's this issue, Tara, of athletic competition.
Yeah.
And there are ways to just make sure things are fair.
Right.
In bathrooms and locker rooms. It's a matter of privacy. Respect everybody's privacy.
That's
you
true.
can find ways to do that.
Definitely, but you have to address it, and that's why when you're saying that they just didn't even have an answer to, and that's what it drives me crazy about the Democrats too.
Yes,
they leave it on the floor. They leave these stink bombs on the floor to just stink up the place, and they have no response to it. Like, even when, and I go on about it on my show all the time about pro-life, okay? Republicans call themselves pro-life, which is bullshit. Because not just because they're, that they love a lot of, they're like a death cult, but that their policies create more abortions. The abortion rate is up in the country since Roe v. Wade was overturned, and they vote against the policies that actually reduce the abortion rate. Like, we're talking about economic policies, living wages, all of those, even retirement security, education. These are the policies that we know. We have studies, and we see. This is not even, we see it in this country, but all over the world. It's replicated. When you address economic issues, the abortion rate goes down. Of course, it makes sense, because one of the number one reason somebody would have an abortion is because they can't afford another child, let's say, but they go after all of the policies that actually reduce the abortion rate and making it unsafe for women, and they kill women in parking lots. I mean, so they're not only creating more abortions, they're creating more women, they're sending them to their cold, early graves, and also the suffering involved that they inflict their big government, ideology into people's private business and all that. And so the fact that they call themselves pro-life without a laugh track accompanying it is something that I think the Democrats leave that. They miss that opportunity, always.
And as someone who used to call himself pro-life, that side brilliantly grabbed that moniker.
Yes.
Everybody's pro-life. Everybody loves life, except. But again, everything you just said, Tara. But again, it's a matter of freedom.
Yes.
My former party is an authoritarian embracing cult. Donald Trump doesn't believe in freedom. Here are let me show you. Let me give you 20 examples.
Yes.
The Democratic Party has a great opportunity, if they jump into it, to be the Freedom Party. When I was there at the beginning of the Tea Party, and you and I would probably disagree, a big part of the Tea Party was freedom and limited government. Let us live our lives.
Right.
Blah, blah, blah. Now, clearly it went sideways. But now here we are 13, 14 years later. Democrats are the Freedom Party.
Right.
Maybe in many ways they always were. But I mean, my God, run on that.
It's true. And that's how you have to frame it. You have to frame these things like universal health care, universal higher education as a freedom issue. Living wages. This is about freedom, retirement security. That's why we form, like your show is so brilliantly called the social contract. That's what that is. That we are in this together. E pluribus unum. Reclaim the mantle of patriotism. That's what I scream at the Democrats, that they need to do that. Don't let, patriotism is more than eagles and stars and flag. I mean, they love the branding of America. They just don't like, the actual substance.
But you got to acknowledge, Tara, that, and I've always felt this way, even back when I was a Republican, Democrats were always less open to displaying their patriotism. Like they would, now you can say a lot of it is performative with Republicans. I know plenty of Republicans who it's not performative, but Republicans always wanted to show their love for the country. People on the left often, too often, I would argue, we're a little bit embarrassed about doing that, and we don't do it as much. And again, it's that kind of stuff that gave Trump and Trumpism part of the big opening.
Right, especially when I'm just thinking of that, him hugging a flag, like all that. Right? If there's nothing more performative than that, hugging a flag. I mean, how dumb do you have to be to fall for this? But this is what I mean. You're 100% correct. The Democrats just don't fight. They let them take these issues and own them, and then we're always on our back foot trying to explain ourselves. And even I saw Adam Schiff. He made some very good points, but he's it's very studious, and there's just not any it's
And that's
very
and by the way,
monotone.
that's who he is. That's
Yeah,
who
that's
he
who
is.
he is. You got to be who you are, I guess.
You and I want authenticity, but like I want,
Right.
I want fighters, people who
Yeah.
talk like I do. There aren't many of those right now, and I sure hope our nominee in 28
Oh God.
is something like this.
I wonder who that would be, though. That's people keep.
I can't think of anybody right now.
It's a shame, right? Because I wish we had someone like FDR or somebody that could really rally people. And Bernie is clearly too old. And that's the thing about Joe Biden. I mean, I think the job of the president, for one of the jobs, is to communicate your vision. And he couldn't do it. He's a stutterer, but he was not able to, clearly in the end there, really formulate a vision. Or his only thing was bipartisan. He was all about bipartisan, it seemed
He was
to
too
me.
fucking old.
Yeah.
Tara, think about it. For 4 years, we had a guy in the White House
Yeah.
who could not communicate what he was doing. And he had a hell of a record. And he did
Yep.
some really, really good things.
That's right.
He did do some great things economically, but 2/3 of a president's job is the bully pulpit, is communicating. And we went without one for almost
Yes.
Biden's entire presidency, which again gave Trump and Republicans a great opening to lie.
Yes.
And about what Biden's done. Like, oh, Biden's destroyed the economy. As you said about 10 minutes ago, Donald Trump inherited the strongest post-COVID economy in the industrialized
That's right.
world. But Americans didn't know that because for 4 years we didn't have a president who could describe that for us.
That is so true. And he was handed a great economy by Obama the first time, and he wrecked it. Even though, yes, Obama gives him some concession. He said it would have been a challenge for any president, the COVID crisis. But he did nothing.
Sure
Trump,
it would, but he fucked it up.
Yeah, he fucked it up. He's not. He doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. This is Trump. He's a con man. That's why he doesn't know what to do now. It's all we have a great economy. Everybody's great and wonderful, of course, and prices are down, and everyone's living in utopia. That's all he has is bullshit. But when it comes to policies, that's why during the pandemic, he's like, look to yourselves, find some, PPE equipment on your. That's why he had all the states, do it yourselves. You don't know what the fuck to do.
But everything you're saying buttresses my major point in that the Democratic Party sucks right now because Donald Trump is a horrible person. He's a pathological liar. He's a psychopath. He's cruel. He's hateful. He's a dumbass. He's a fascist. And yet, Democrats lost to that guy twice.
And that's
Now
why the whole world can't even figure it out. I'm looking at the news from around the world. They're like, what the fuck? In what country, someone stole a pair of sunglasses and they were removed from power, or he accidentally put them in his pocket and walked away with them, and they're like, you can't get rid of this guy. He's a pedo. He's all over the Epstein files. He's a friggin' monster who's ruining our name all over the globe. He's corrupt beyond anything we've ever seen. It's really unbelievable.
Yes, but it's a choice. And every presidential election, the American people have a choice between two things. And I'll never go back to, I literally was out campaigning for Kamala every day in a battleground state for 90 days. And so many voters, Tara, who don't pay attention as much as you and I do, lower information voters, almost to a man and a woman, they all told me the same thing. Joe, I know Trump's an asshole, but the Democrats are elitists who look down on me. I heard a variation, Tara, of that everywhere. Trump is an asshole. He's worse than an asshole. But the Democrats
Yeah.
have, and maybe a lot of this is perception, but a lot of reality too.
Yeah.
They became kind of an elitist party. There's a reason why they lost working class voters
Yeah.
and voters without a college degree.
It's true.
Without a college degree, I think they became a little bit MSNBC snooty.
Yeah,
on
true.
some issues.
I
And so
think- yeah.
Americans chose the asshole, which is a shame.
That's true, and I think, but I also think that the problem is propaganda as well, because the Democrats simply don't, like we're saying, they don't fight back. They don't do what the Republicans did to the media, shaming the media. Oh, it's liberal media bias, constant like shaming the media. And then we get this both sides bullshit. Both sides are the same. Both sides are not the same. The Democrats don't do that. They don't shame the media, and I wish they would shame the media into, doing some actual reporting and reporting that, whenever a Republican is in office, the working class falls lower on the ladder, that Democrats are better for the economy. Don't just give us a poll, right?
And the problem is, when in this age of Trump, he does and says 1,000 horrible
Right.
things every day.
Right.
And so the media then every day chases the shit he's said and done. And we don't talk about these underlying important issues. It's a shame. It's a
Right.
shame.
And the White House press corps, I don't understand why they don't walk out. All of them. He's telling Caitlin Collins, smile. Why don't I don't understand. I guess it's a courage issue too, and you want to keep your job.
Yeah, you want to keep your job and you want to keep access. I mean, you're right, the Caitlin Collins thing, or a couple months ago, Tara, Trump jabbed his finger at a female reporter on Air Force One, and called her Miss Piggy.
Yeah,
Shut
quiet
up, Miss
piggy.
Piggy.
Quiet piggy.
Not one reporter said something.
That's right.
You imagine what a hero or reporter would do if literally
Yeah.
or figuratively punched Trump in the face?
Oh, I know. Right.
He said, "How dare you,
right.
you
Like, shut your mouth. Do you have
You'd
any
lose
decency?
your job, you'd lose your access, but my God, you'd be a hero."
You'd win a Pulitzer Prize, really. And then all of the reporters, I know they have a bunch of MAGAs in there now, but all the reporters just all walk the F out. Anyone who's with a legitimate news source, what's the point of a White House press corps? You're nothing but stenographers for this baboon who's just lying to your face. Why you ask? That's the other thing that drives me crazy. Just normalizing him, even asking him questions, gives the illusion that he knows what the fuck he's talking about. He doesn't know anything. Like Lawrence O'Donnell says, that somebody should ask him to explain what a tariff is, and he could never do it. He will never be able to do it.
So it's a real problem.
Yeah.
And the media's always messed it up. Trump lies 1,000 times a day. So if you're the media, how do you cover that? Like if I ever interviewed Trump, Tara, I would do it only with the cameras rolling. I wouldn't do it Bill Maher did and have a private dinner with him.
God. Yeah.
What a pussy he is.
I know, right?
But I would start the interview and I would ask Donald Trump, Joe Biden won the 2020 election fair and square, correct? And when he didn't acknowledge that truth, I wouldn't move on to another subject or question until he answered that truthfully. And if he didn't, interview's over.
Right.
I'm not a journalist. So journalists, for some reason, don't want to do that. I would do that.
Yeah, I think it is because they're working for corporate, entities, and they don't want to lose, like you're saying, their access. And for whatever reason, go do some actual journalism. It's not done asking questions to people who lie to your face, but yeah. Leave it to the maggots to sit there and praise the dear leader. What the hell you got to be there for? So he can lie? That's all he does. So I wonder, what do you think? Are we gonna make it? Are we gonna make it in this country after all?
Tara, I don't know. Honestly,
Yeah.
I love this country. I used to teach American history a long time ago. We're 250 years
Wow.
old. I don't know. I really do believe
we are like that married couple on the verge of a divorce, and we need to decide if we want to do therapy one
Right.
last.
Do
I
you
think that's
think
where
we
we
should?
are.
Do you think we should see? This is you're where I am. I go back and forth because I do this other show on Fridays, the Anti-Fascist Book Club, and we're discussing Ruth Ben-Ghiat's Strong Man and other books, and all of the writers, authoritarian scholars, they think America's going to make it. That's their final prognosis, but they're saying that it's going to be a lot more pain in the meantime. And the reason they give is because America is not set up for a king. We don't have kings in our DNA like the Weimar Republic had, like Russia had. They had memories of being ruled by monarchs and authoritarians. We don't have that tradition here. That's what they say. And so it will take Trump. It will be a challenge for him to really overthrow this country. But like I fear what you're saying. During the midterms, they're going to say there's cheating, and they just won't certify the results. And then what?
Yeah, and I don't think look, I don't think this country has been this divided since just before the Civil War.
No, it hasn't.
Trump didn't create the divide. He's a very ugly consequence of the divide. He's made it worse, but he didn't create this.
Yes,
the conditions created us electing that guy. So my fear is, and I felt this way back when I was in Congress, I still do. I don't know that the country, will never be ruled by a king. I worry about the country staying together.
Right.
I worry about America breaking up into 7 or 8 sovereign nations, looking more like Europe, like the EU. Texas becomes its own country or whatever. I worry about stuff like that.
But I wonder I think about that too, and I wonder, do you think that might be better to just split the damn thing up? At some point?
Tara, I go back and bullshit. I go back and forth. I mean, think about it like this. Take America now, geographically, what we are, all of our the land mass that we have. If you were starting this country from scratch today with our land mass, would you today, if you were starting from scratch, make us one nation?
Right.
I don't think we would.
No.
I think we'd carve us up into a few different sovereign nations.
Right. And that's some of the things that I've read, like European writers say, that they didn't even understand why we wanted to remain as one country in the Civil War. There was no, why? You could have just had separated then, and but of course, God knows what would have happened with enslaved people. But I often wonder that too. How long because it's not even that long ago that slavery was abolished. So
not at all.
Really, and it's a blip of time, and as far as history is concerned, and I just
then
wonder.
Jim Crow, slavery, then Jim Crow, and I mean, absolutely, and in a big way, my former party right now is kind of white America's last gasp. That's a big part of what it is. White Christian nationalism is really, really powerful in my former party.
It's true, and they have never been properly put down. So we didn't finish the work of Reconstruction. I don't mean put down like a dog or something, but I mean like punished for treason after the Civil War. They were just required to go home and sin no more. They all should have been, Lee should have been executed, I believe, and they should have put them all in irons. Instead, they went on tours, and that's what happened. Some of them went right back into Congress as elected members, and so there was never really been any consequences when conservatives rise up. Even in what we saw with January 6th, there's no consequence for
they were pardoned,
for trying to overthrow this country. That's why, one of the things when Trump was elected again, I just felt the sense of betrayal because like you mentioned, it's our 250th anniversary coming up. And him, you're
I
gonna
can't.
make
I
him.
won't. Sarah, I won't watch him at any ceremony.
It's
No way.
disgusting. It's disgusting. How
Yeah.
the shame of it, the disgrace of it, and as your what is your former party? What do you think they think about him putting up portraits of himself and Putin in the White House? I mean, what a disgrace what we're witnessing here, and he's clearly behaving like someone who's not going to leave, putting up, of course, making the ballroom, redecorating everywhere. It's like I guess he's making it like his own little palace, like his own little Kremlin palace that he has, and it really is to impress the world's dictators. That's the other thing. With that's why it's important, I believe, what we do, what you do, your independent show, and because we're really up against the big media machines that aren't talking like this. When they say that people don't care, and you mentioned it earlier, they care about the price of beef more than democracy. Well, democracy is an economic issue. Democracy is a kitchen table issue. You try getting ahead in an authoritarian hellscape. It's not going to happen. There won't be upward mobility. You'll be nothing but a serf, but you will have you won't have the ability to do anything about it. So
I used to go on CNN and MSNBC maybe 2, 3, 4 times a week, and now I don't as much because it's clear to me they don't want someone who says the things I do on there.
Right.
Like, I think Trump's Putin's puppet. I think Trump's a Russian asset, and I'll say that on
Right.
CNN, and that's too much.
Wow.
That's a big problem. So thank God, though, for the growth of these independent
Yeah.
platforms, independent media.
Absolutely, because when you look at Trump's behavior through that lens, that he is a Russian asset, it all starts to make sense,
Sure it does.
right?
Sure it does.
But
Completely.
don't the Republicans know that too? That's the other thing. That's something that always baffles me.
Many of them do. Remember Kevin McCarthy said, what did Kevin McCarthy said 4 or 5 years ago?
Right.
Of course Putin's got something on Trump. He was caught on video saying
Yes,
that.
yes.
So many of them do know. Many of them do know.
Right.
But they'll never say it.
Do you think you'd ever run for office again
I'd
as a
love to.
Democrat? You should. I think you will. You do. very
Tara,
well.
I love you. I'd love to run. I'm a fighter. But the truth is, I'm not where the base of the party is on a lot of issues. So I don't know that I could ever win a Democratic primary. I'd be a great general election candidate, but I'd have a hard time getting through a Democratic primary, I think.
You think? I guess it would depend, maybe. Yeah, we could talk
We don't
more
have
about
time
that.
to talk about it or argue about it, but I'm super pro-Israel. I mean, that right there.
Oh, okay. It depends on
that
when you
issue
run,
right-
though. Yeah, with that.
It's not like, no, I wouldn't run leading with that issue, but
Right.
but I mean, I have a trail. I'm very pro-Israel. So the base of the party right now is in a different place. I may never be able to run again. That's okay.
We'll see. Well, let's hope we can have elections and we can have this discussion
True.
down the road, right? Because, that's what happened at the end of the Roman Republic. If we went back in time and we interviewed an average Roman and asked them what kind of system they had, they'd say, well, we have a republic. If we, after the fall of the republic, they would think they were in a republic because they still had elections. In fact, when Pompeii was buried by Vesuvius in 79 AD, they were in the middle of an election. They know that because there was electioneering on the walls and all. So, they were still allowed to vote in local elections, but ultimately the power laid in the hands of one person. So, yeah. And that person at least had some skills, but this one is really, I don't know.
An idiot.
I know.
He's an idiot. He's an idiot.
I don't get it. I don't
But
get it.
he's a marketing genius,
Yeah.
and that's carried him.
Isn't that crazy? So
And,
tell us.
and he's up against a party that doesn't know how to market. Tell us
Right.
what.
No, I was just going to say where we can find you,
Oh,
because we're wrapping up. It's almost I see the hours coming to a
Tara,
close.
this has been so much fun.
Yeah,
You're so
thank you, thank you.
Walsh Freedom Everywhere is my handle. The Social Contract with Joe Walsh is the show and my Substack and all of that.
Why did you name your show The Social Contract?
Because I believe I kind of bastardized the notion of the social contract. I believe if the American people don't get off their ass and do their job, i.e., be tolerant, be respectful, stay informed, follow the truth, and be engaged. If we don't do that, then I think our democracy's done. So it's all about getting us to do what we have to do, and then I think we can elect better people.
Right, and I agree, and I think that social contract, that's why I love the name of your show, because the social contract has been, I believe, deliberately torn apart by the media, for one thing, the corporate media. And I mean, the fact that they sell merchandise, drinking liberal tears, that thing drives me crazy. Because that's, I mean, who drinks the tears of their fellow Americans? I'm not trying to drink a Republican's tears. I'm trying to make sure that we all have health care, that they can go to a doctor when they're sick, that we have living wages, retirement security. It's not about drinking anybody's tears here. You know, it's not like I don't get satisfaction annoying them, right? Like, that's so fucked up. That whole owning the libs and like, why, right? Just tell me what you believe in. Maybe we can come to some kind of consensus here, right?
Exactly.
I mean, yeah. So we have a lot of work to do, and I think that Democrats have to run on leaving no one behind. That's another thing that we should run on. But anyway, we'll have more conversations.
Tara, this has been so much fun. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thank you so much for your generosity of your time and everything. Thank you for your evolution, for being on the right side.
Took me a while, but I'm here.
Yeah, and your courage to be that power of example, because I wish more Republicans would follow. That would be great. All right, Joe, I'll talk to you later.
Thanks, Tara.
All right, see you soon. Bye-bye. All right, everybody. Joe Walsh, the great Joe Walsh, let me say. Let me see, where's my cameras? Thank you, everyone, for hanging out. It's been a great show. He's amazing. It just flew by the hour. And in fact, that he was so generous to give this little Tarabuster over here an hour is incredible, because he's one of the true patriots of our era, I believe, and he's in the arena with a target on his back, given his history. I know that he gets threatened and attacked by his former party, and he does it anyway. This is what we have to do. That's the courage. We were talking about having the courage of your convictions. Man, anybody got any questions? Let's see. Yeah, pretty good chat. Let me see. What do we do? Anybody have any? Because we only have like 3 minutes left. Let me look at I shouldn't have let him go. I should have asked some more questions. We have a minute left, so. Yeah, okay. Well, Friday, if you haven't subscribed to my Substack, let's do some plugs. Please do. It's up there in the corner, right here. And this Friday, I think what we're going to do is go through the PragerU, which, speaking of Republicans or traitors, they're trying to influence the youth. Of course, they have Fox News propaganda, but they have this PragerU propaganda, and they're actually releasing pro-loyalist movies for kids. So basically priming our country and the youth to accept an authoritarian ruler. They're you won't believe it. Let's put it that way. We're going to go through this PragerU, I don't know what you call it, that young people in, I think, over half a dozen states, or more than half a dozen states, are required to watch, that call the founders ingrates, and elites, and King George a benevolent monarch that had their best interest at heart. You won't believe it, but I thought we would go through that on Friday. All right, my guys. What? You're not going to be there on Friday, Errol? I won't be on Friday. I'm going to attend a special event that I got invited to. Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'll give you a pass for Friday. You can always watch it after the fact. And I want a 5-page paper on my desk by Monday at 9 a.m. Okay? Sounds good. All right, good. I'm just kidding, of course. All right, my friends, listen. Subscribe to my Substack. I gotta get those numbers up. Yeah, and everything else, you know what to do. Thank you, Charlie from APS Radio News. Thank you, Joe Walsh. Subscribe to Joe Walsh's social contract. It's in the description, the link in the description of this YouTube chat here, or you know what I'm talking about. All right, my friends. Yeah, we will win. We will win. I believe we will. It's going to be tough, though. We have our work cut out for us. We are in an existential crisis, and we got a lot of work to do, so it's all hands on deck time. So if you can, please, chalk in a couple of dollars. Keep this, if you can, on the Substack and on the Political Voices Network and all that, because we don't have big billionaire benefactors. We only have each other, and we can't do it without each other. Okay? Okay, very good. We will win, guys. We're on the right side of history, decency, dignity, democracy, humanity. We stick together. We win. Thank you for hanging out. Tarabuster Tuesdays. See you on Friday night.